Hello everyone, welcome to City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle. The Atlanta Police Department and the Executive Director of the Atlanta Track Club joined Mayor Kasim Reed as he announced new safety measures for the upcoming AJC Peachtree Road Race. The enhanced security comes in response to the terror attacks during the Boston Marathon. Police Chief George Turner promises more police on duty, more surveillance cameras along the route, and increased coordination between local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. The mayor also stresses the importance of see something, say something.
But we need every single person within every viewer and every person within the sound of my voice, directly or through television, to, if you see or know something related to this race, please share it.
See Something, Say Something is a nationwide campaign to inform law enforcement about suspicious activity. Nearly 60,000 people are expected to attend the Peachtree Road Race as participants, volunteers, or spectators. If you own a small business or you're thinking of starting one, you're in the right place. Atlanta was named by NerdWallet.com as the best city to start a small business. Atlanta gets an A- for small business friendliness. It also scored high for 46% of residents who have a bachelor's degree, and the inclusion of Georgia Tech helps to supply many startups with tech talent. Invest Atlanta recently launched its Startup Atlanta campaign, which helps small businesses by providing resources and by helping businesses network with one another. On the agenda, the City of Atlanta has a new business tax amnesty program. The Atlanta City Council approved an ordinance that allows owners of unregistered businesses to pay the principal tax amounts of their business tax and license fees without having to pay late fees, penalties, and interest. Owners of unregistered businesses, including home-based businesses, independent contractors, sole proprietors, partnerships, and corporations, are encouraged to take advantage of the business tax amnesty before it ends on June 30th. Eco Depot, Atlanta's largest recycling event, brought quite a crowd to Turner Field for the city's annual Waste Recycling Day. Residents dropped off household electronics, hazardous waste products, paper that needed shredding, and a lot more. Several organizations sponsored the event to encourage proper disposal.
It's important to dispose of household hazardous waste because much of the material is flammable or toxic, hazardous, and does not belong in municipal landfills.
It is very important for us to preserve the environment because we only have one planet Earth, and we must protect it as well as respect it. That's why every year we come out and help out with electronic waste, and also we do things with the adopted model as well to keep everything up and be sure our Earth is here for us to enjoy as well as for generations to come.
Councilmember Carla Smith says she is committed to supporting efforts that bring tangible changes to how we treat the environment. Residents in District 3 did their part for Earth Day. They joined Councilmember Ivory Lee Young Jr. and the Mayor's Office of Sustainability to clean Mims Park.
Mims Park, as I'd mentioned earlier, is a park that's been commissioned by the City of Atlanta. It's going to be one of the largest parks in the city to commemorate a lot of the history that exists here in the community.
It's overgrown, there's lots of illegal dumping, and they're looking to really transform it today. Take out all of the underbrush and the weeds and all of the couches and sinks and litter and trash that's in there, and make it a space that can be maintained and enjoyed by the community.
The Atlanta City Council approved a plan last year that paves the way for the new 16-acre park in Vine City. Councilmember Joyce Shepard holds a district-wide Earth Day tire recycling cleanup. Volunteers picked up trash, debris, and got rid of illegally dumped tires.
And as you can see, people from all across my district, District 12, are actually coming and bringing tires that have been dumped throughout the neighborhoods. So we're here today celebrating Earth Day by cleaning up our earth and cleaning up our communities.
After they cleaned, volunteers headed over to the Roselle Fan Recreation Center for a cookout. Councilmember Felicia Moore and District 9 residents held a tire drive to clean up neighborhoods by gathering up old tires. Abandoned tires are a big problem in the city, and their tire collection went a long way to keeping Atlanta beautiful.
We've probably collected about 6,000 tires today thus far. We've hit all the communities in District 9, and we also encourage other residents in District 9 to come out and bring tires that they may see, so to try to defeat the blight in the community.
And so the tires you see behind us is just a fraction of the tires. Many of them have already been taken to the recycling. We'll have more coming over the weekend, And we also were able to clear up a lot of litter in the community as well. So thanks to all the city departments for helping us make Earth Day better in District 9.
By disposing of unwanted tires, residents help the environment and help the community. In District 5, constituents brought abandoned tires to Councilwoman Natalie Archibong's Tire Roundup. The Tire Roundup was an effort to spruce up East Atlanta neighborhoods.
It's an opportunity for all of the communities in District 5 to get rid of abandoned tires that, as you know, are environmental hazards and incubators for mosquitoes.
In the last 12 years, thousands of tires have been collected in District 5. The citywide Adopt a Street program kicks off with seniors in East Atlanta. Residents from the Brandon Towers retirement community picked a stretch of road along Glenwood Avenue in the East Atlanta Business District to maintain and provide regular cleanups. The Adopt a Spot program is a project by the Department of Public Works that encourages citizen involvement and community pride.
The initiative behind the Adopt a Street program was a way to get our residents and our businesses involved in cleaning up the community and keeping it clean.
The program is the first of its kind in the city. Councilmember Archibong worked with residents to start the program. The Lakewood community has a chance to help shape the future of the Lakewood area, Metropolitan Parkway, and Jonesboro Road. The Department of Planning and Community Development held its final presentation for the Lakewood Livable Centers initiative. The plan includes land use, transportation, demographics, short and long-term goals for housing, economic development, infrastructure, safety, and recreation. The purpose of the study is to formulate strategies to encourage growth and development in that area. Atlanta and the Chick-fil-A Bowl will host semifinal games as part of the new National College Playoff. Atlanta will host a national semifinal for 12 years beginning in 2014. Mayor Reed says the decision to make Atlanta a host city will be a boom to our already successful convention and tourism business, which brings in roughly $12 billion a year. The College Football Hall of Fame is rushing towards the goal line. Construction on college football's newest home for its greatest players is coming along. The Hall of Fame is located next to the Georgia World Congress Center, and it is within walking distance of Centennial Park, the Georgia Aquarium, and the Future Center for Civil and Human Rights. Construction is expected to be completed in 2014, just in time for that college football playoff game. Mayor Reed took the stage with some special guests for a big announcement.
Today we're announcing that we set a record number for visitors in the city of Atlanta in a single year, with 40,400,000 visitors in the year 2012.
Reaching that milestone put Atlanta in the same ranks as Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and San Diego. $5 billion in new attractions, restaurants, and hotels helped visitation to the city increase by 28% over the past 10 years. By 2017, Atlanta plans to open up another $2.5 billion in attractions, including the Center for Civil and Human Rights and the College Football Hall of Fame. The Atlanta streetcar will transport those future visitors to many of the city's hottest tourist destinations.
I think what it really shows is the excitement and the vibrancy that those of us who live here see every day is now catching on all across the country.
Visitors will also have two new shopping destinations when Ponce City Market and Buckhead Atlanta are finished. And don't forget that new Atlanta Falcons Stadium. The Falcons' new home is planning to open in 2017. The Atlanta Bicycle Coalition is creating a healthier, more sustainable Atlanta by making it safer, easier, and more attractive to bike for fun, for exercise, and for transportation. In fact, the group hit the streets with the Great Atlanta Bicycle Expedition. The coalition says you can rediscover Atlanta from Castleberry Hill to Cabbagetown, Midtown to Mosley Park, and from Buckhead to the West End. Cyclists rolled out to promote a program that provides free neighborhood bike classes throughout the city. Supporters say bike education makes us all safer and creates a culture of smart cycling. The Ben Hill Recreation Center gets a new community arts project. And Director Camille Love is here to talk about this year's Jazz Festival. Stay with us. The Office of Cultural Affairs was established in the 1970s to encourage and support Atlanta's cultural resources. Today, that office has enhanced Atlanta's reputation as a cultural destination. Piedmont Park Memorial Day weekend is the place to be. The Atlanta Jazz Festival is the largest free jazz festival in the nation, featuring the most admired jazz musicians in the world. It's a full weekend of cool, smooth jazz, incredible selections from some of your favorite artists. The Atlanta Jazz Festival presents a powerful mix of international music styles. Music lovers spend the day soaking up jazz, enjoying the traditional sounds from legendary performers, and hearing from some of the most dynamic artists on the scene today. It has something for everyone. Cultural Affairs Director Camille Love, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
The Atlanta Jazz Festival is celebrating its 36th anniversary this year. For people who may not know the history of the festival, how did it get started?
It started under Maynard Jackson's administration. He wanted Atlanta to be the jazz capital of the Southeast. Even though New Orleans claims it, Maynard Jackson thought that Atlanta could be it. And so he established what was called the first free Atlanta Jazz Festival. And so it has remained free for 36 years.
What is it about Atlanta as a community that has helped make jazz likable?
Well, you know, Atlanta has a rich community of jazz artists. We're home to one of the oldest jazz stations in the country, WCLK. We've got youth jazz bands that are participating and learning jazz in high school and middle schools and are, perpetuating the continuation of jazz. And we have great audiences. I mean, the Jazz Festival audiences grow every year.
Tell us a little bit about what will be in Piedmont Park this Memorial Day weekend.
Well, this year we're going to have two great stages. One is an international stage where we'll be focusing on jazz artists from around the world, and the other will be the main stage. What's going to be really special is that this year's Jazz Festival is focusing on the next generation of jazz legends. And so we've got really young artists who have distinguished themselves as important jazz artists, and they'll be performing. I venture to guess that years in the future, it will go down that this was one of the most important gatherings of the next generation of jazz artists. We've been very careful about selecting whom we think are some of the best emerging jazz talent in the country.
There will be jazz throughout the month of May. Give us some of those highlights.
Well, we call that 31 Days of Jazz, and so there's jazz all over the city, in expected places and unexpected places. You'll be able to see jazz at the airport in the atrium. There'll be jazz in neighborhood parks throughout the month of May, jazz in museums like the High Museum and the Fernbank Museum of History, and jazz in usual places like bars and restaurants.
Are there any park rules or anything we should know before heading over there?
I want to thank you for asking. This is always one of the biggest challenges for us at the Atlanta Jazz Festival because it is a family-friendly event, and we always have people coming out to cook in the park and to bring their families. So what we want you to know is that you can cook, you just can't cook with charcoal unless you are grilling on the city-supplied grills. So there are a few of them, which means you have to get to the park early in order to utilize them. Otherwise, you can bring in the gas-powered grills and use them, but no frying of food in the park. Also, leave your puppies and your dogs and cats and snakes at home because we're a Class A festival. There are a lot of people there, and animals are not allowed. Pets are not allowed. We also ask you to leave your bicycles and skateboards and rollerblades at home because there's a lot of people and you just can't enjoy that as well. And then I would recommend that people take MARTA. There are very few parking spaces around the park, and the last thing you want to do is come to the park, have a great experience, and then come out and your car has been booted or towed.
How can someone get more information about the festival?
You can go to our website, www.atlantafestivals.com, and there's a complete lineup and lots of information about the Atlanta Jazz Festival.
Well, the festival has always been a big attraction, and it's always a fantastic event. Sounds like another great year.
We hope so. We've worked really hard to pull together what we think will be a fantastic experience for Memorial Day weekend and again throughout the month of May. So we want Atlanta to come out and enjoy it.
Camille Love, thank you so much.
Thank you.
A community organization that helps seniors repair their homes gets a little help of its own. And Atlanta joins a national effort to improve cities through volunteerism. Back in a moment. A new community art project will soon grace the Ben Hill Recreation Center. City Talk's Troy Danicus takes us to the rec center, where community members are building upon an already impressive display of art citywide.
Creativity is bursting at the seams at one of the city's recreation centers.
We're carving bricks this weekend for a mural, a relief mural, that's going to go into the addition for Ben Hill Recreation Center.
Members of the community are coming together for this project. The mural will complement a similar one built at the center 2 decades ago. Artist Marianne Weinberg Benson was there, and she remembers that initial project well.
20 years ago, the City of Atlanta put out a call for artists to submit to design some artwork for this recreation center. I teamed up with 2 other artists, and the 3 of us designed and installed and created the sculpture of the tower, the light, the wind chime, and then with the 3 of us together with the community carved the bricks that are on either side of the front door.
Marianne hopes that the new brick mural will be an inspiration for future generations.
So they'll be here for you to bring your children and your grandchildren this evening. Isn't that exciting? They'll be here forever.
The Ben Hill Brick Carving Project is just one of the hundreds of art projects, big and small, that populate every area of the city.
Our Cultural Affairs Division have been extremely active, and probably, I would venture, one of the best in the country in terms of public art, incorporating it into not just the big public spaces and the big public buildings, but the neighborhood parks and the neighborhood recreation centers. I mean, I think it's a really unique Atlanta attribute that we've got this much art.
Over the past several months, the city has hosted numerous art projects. Elevate Atlanta brought dozens of artists to the city, where they contributed public art, like these murals on some of South Broad Street's abandoned buildings. And in March, 3 sculptures from Mexican artist Yvonne Domenge were added to Freedom Park, a space dedicated to displaying public art. But for many folks, the smaller projects are the ones that resonate the most within the community. Marianne remembers the reaction she got from kids when the first brick murals were installed at Ben Hill.
Once we got the first quilt up that the community had carved, and I was here working with the masons installing the tower, I would have all these young people that would come up and say, brick lady, this is my brick. And they would point to their brick with such pride.
And with nearly 300 bricks to carve their creativity into, that's going to be a lot of fond memories for these kids to look back on in another 20 years. For City Talk, I'm Troy Danicus.
The mural is scheduled to be installed towards the end of the month. Public art is one of Mayor Reed's signature initiatives. He plans to increase the city's arts budget by 25% for fiscal year 2014. Councilmember Archie Bung was front and center with check in hand to support Neighbor in Need. For over 10 years, Neighbor in Need has served District 5's elderly residents in Kirkwood, Eastlake, and Edgewood by providing emergency home improvements. Neighbor in Need is a not-for-profit organization that offers services like roof repairs, plumbing, and carpentry to low-income seniors. The organization estimates it has improved over 400 houses.
Neighbor in Need says we can all live together, and let's do it in a respectful way, and they give dignity to neighbors who may not have the ability to have the kind of quality of life and the extras that they deserve.
By providing this kind of care, Neighbor in Need helps ensure that elderly residents live in safe conditions and can remain in their homes. City Council President Caesar Mitchell attended the 100 Black Men of Atlanta's annual Stakeholders and Community Briefing. The briefing is where the organization presents its annual report, highlights the achievements of its Project Success students, and updates the community on current initiatives. Governor Nathan Deal, corporate and nonprofit community leaders, and officials from city, county, and state governments were also at the luncheon. Mayor Reed joins a nationwide effort to improve cities through volunteerism. He made his case outside the office of Truly Living Well, where volunteers turned compost, raked leaves, and tended to gardens. The Wheat Street organization hosted Atlanta's first ever Mayor's Day of Recognition for National Service. Reed used the event to announce the Mayor's Volunteer Service Award. The award recognizes Atlanta citizens who complete 100 hours of volunteer service within a calendar year.
National service shows the best of the American spirit. It also shows the best of the spirit of Atlanta. People turning towards problems, rather than walking away from them.
The award consists of special recognition from the mayor and a mention on the city's volunteer service website, IamAtlanta.org. To keep up with Atlanta city government, tune in to ATL 26. City Channel 26 gives you a seat at the table for all of the important stuff at City Hall. And you can always email us, send your questions or comments to citytalk@atlantagA.gov. If you haven't been to Woodruff Park lately, you might want to check it out. That's next. When the city of Atlanta hosted the Summer Olympics in 1996, it came with many perks: an increase in tourism, the pageantry of the games, and a boost to the city's economy and infrastructure. But once all the hoopla is gone and the medals are won, what happens to a post-Olympic city? It's a question two artists asked through an exhibit that is currently on display at the Atlanta Contemporary Arts Center.
I'm Stuart Haradner. I'm the artistic director here at the Atlanta Contemporary Arts Center. The center was started in 1973, and from the beginning until now, we really feature the work of emerging and established artists, either from folks who live in Atlanta, people in the region, national artists, international artists.
A photographic exhibit called The Olympic City is currently on display at the Contemporary Arts Center, funded in part by Atlanta's Office of Cultural Affairs. The Olympic City features works by photographer John Pack and filmmaker Gary Huswit. It looks at the legacy of the Olympic Games in former host cities around the world.
So what they've done is they've gone to Sarajevo, to Mexico City, to Beijing, to Los Angeles, to Montreal, to many cities that have hosted, and really just looked around. They do research. They go to places that they know they want to revisit, stadiums and housing complexes, but also talk with people there in those cities and find a kind of more insidious way of navigating, and they get led to various things they might never have been able to research ahead of time.
The aftermath. It's what Pack and Huswit documented in this exhibition. The success and failures, the forgotten remnants, and even the legacy of the Games, which continues to define the fabric of cities that once hosted the Olympics.
Their inquiry really is about what does it mean to do this successfully, to host the Games, to use it as an opportunity for your city to continue the visibility that the Games may have brought. But now everybody's gone, the lights are off, the medals have been given out, and now the question is, can you feel the impact?
While the artists document the impact the Olympic Games had on 12 cities around the globe, they excluded the host city of Atlanta. Still, there is no denying the lasting impact the 1996 Games is still having on this great southern city.
One of the things that I like about the fact that Atlanta's missing in a way from the photos is that we, people who live here, we all have a relationship to the Olympics in a way, whether we want one or not. Part of it's economic, part of it's emotional, part of it's identity, part of it's like, what story are we telling about our city through these Games? I think the work prompts some really interesting questions, and that's why we wanted to show it.
The Olympic City by John Pack and Gary Hustwick is on display until June 15th. Atlanta Magazine named Woodruff Park one of the 50 things every Atlantan must do. The magazine boasts some of Woodruff Park's features, such as its location in historic downtown Atlanta, being within walking distance of Georgia State University, and an outdoor reading room. The park recently unveiled a new ATL-shaped playground. More than 5 million people visit the park every year. The City of Atlanta has online services available to make doing business with the city a little easier. On our website, you can pay water bills, municipal court citations, parking tickets, and apply for permits. Atlanta's list of online services will continue to grow as the city strives to identify more opportunities to provide access to government services via the internet. For a full list of online services, visit our website at atlantagA.gov. Thank you for watching City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle.